Hey, good morning. So I was in a better mood until I just watched a video a few minutes ago. I'm gonna give a few minutes for people to come in and we'll talk about what's going on. In the meantime, since I've gathered all my goods to pack today, I do have some stickers to take off from some items. So I'll go ahead and do that while I wait for a few people to pop in here, and then we'll get talking about what's going on in the reselling world today. And then I do have some orders to pack. I think I have, I don't even know. I've just really not even, I've not really been with it since I got up. Let me see. Hold on. I closed one of them's over here. Let me just grab it. It's when you're using two screens, it kind of is weird. You gotta figure it all out. But it's 9:00. I don't know if the Bearded Picker is going live today or not. I'm thinking probably not with the news that came out today. But I figured I would go ahead and go live at 9 because I'm going to and I want to go for lunch. So next week is my birthday. And when it's your birthday month, they give you a free meal. Plus, I always get $50 in free meal credits anyhow every month, and free play and all this other stuff. So I said, you know what? I think today is a good day. I'm going to go. It's just going to be raining today. And last time I went, I got $1,600. Actually, almost $1,698. So part of me is like, all right, I want to go back. I haven't been back since I won $1,700. So I'm like, let's go to today. Hey, good morning, Holly and Jen and Diane. Good morning, Craig. Yeah, I just saw you. I think I just saw you, Craig, in Pat's chat. So I haven't talked about what the sad news is yet. For those who haven't seen, I was just on and I was grabbing my stuff and something popped up saying that Pat from, I used to be Pat D's, but he goes by the Traveling Picker now. He had a video pop up that said sad Alabama Picker. So I, of course, went to watch. It was a live video, and he was letting us know, for those of you who have been following along, Alabama Picker's wife, Tristan, passed away a couple weeks ago. They both had COVID, and they had been taking care of each other at home, sleeping in the same bed and all that. Because normally if you got COVID, like when my husband started showing symptoms of COVID, I went and slept in the other bedroom. And then we, both ended up sick. But we still matter. If you're both sick, doesn't matter. So they were in bed together on a Wednesday morning. He woke up and found that Tristan had passed. And his kids, and one of his kids, I think only one, I don't think they both were sick, but one of them was sick with COVID also, but said, hey, Dad, you need to get to the hospital. Once the coroner leaves, get yourself to the hospital, because he was pretty sick. So he went to the hospital. He put out a video telling us all about this, and was also opened up a GoFundMe looking for some money to just cover the cost of some stuff. So that's kind of been around. I heard a couple of days ago that he was in the ICU and he was on a ventilator, which just really, it hit me hard, because it just hit me. And then today I found out that he actually passed away. So for those who have been following what's going on, Dusty from Alabama Pickers passed away from COVID last night. So it's a somber day today. The guy, but I feel emotional. All right, I got packing to do. So let's do that. Let's get going so I can get that done. All right, so eBay. Let's start with eBay, since I just pulled that and it's right here in front of me. All right, hold on. I gotta wait my eyes so I can see. Not through okay, so I don't know why it's hitting me. I didn't even know him. Let's see. I need a box. I sold a Santa toothpick holder. I can't even think straight today. So I had picked up some of these last year. I had picked up Santa and they had one that was a red truck. And I'd sold out buying more of them, but Santa just sold. Isn't it weird? Like September, Santa sold. So hey, good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Cody. I think I got everybody in here. I didn't know Dusty, but what a sad story. Yeah. Oh, it is sad. Yeah, you want to come on, Holly? I can let me hold on. Let me pop a link in here. You can come on. That way I'm not sitting here just bawling my eyes out with not somebody talking. There was also a sad story I read yesterday and I put it on my Facebook page. I was reading a story about a husband and wife who both passed. They were young in their early 30s and they have I think it was 5 children and one was a newborn. She got COVID right at the end of her pregnancy, was in the hospital on a ventilator. They had to do a C-section to take the baby. So she never even got to see her baby. She ended up passing. The father said he had COVID. He was not going to name the child until the wife had a chance to take a look at it. Unfortunately, he passed away also. So now we have a baby with no name and both their parents have passed away. And there's 5 kids in that family and they're young. They're in their very early 30s. It's not supposed to happen like that. Good morning, Holly.
Good morning. My full glory here.
Oh, I know. SRG asked what happened. I'll be repeating it throughout because people be popping it, but Dusty from Alabama Picker passed away last night from COVID. All right, midlife Picker, I'm adding you. I hope you're who you say you are. Because there's no screen. All right, I gotta grab some bubble wrap. It's not far. How are you doing, Holly?
I'm hanging in there. I was thinking about Dusty and really hadn't seen anything, and it's shocking, like you say.
I know I was putting off going live today because I was going to go on the bearded. I was going to watch Scott the bearded picker because they're pretty good friends, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna hold off so I get an update and hear what's going on because I've been thinking a lot about him. Also, once I heard he was in ICU and on a ventilator, and then to see that today, it's devastating.
When ICU and ventilator are in the same sentence, it's not good.
Right. Yes. I mean, they say once you go on a ventilator, it's very hard to come off one.
Well, I saw a response.
That's why they try not to put you on one.
I saw a response in one of the videos. An ICU nurse kind of explained things. And if you think about it, you have to kind of be a medically induced coma while you're on a ventilator. And I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know that either, but that would make sense so you don't fight the ventilator.
Yeah, she kind of explained it in normal terms, saying if you're on this kind of medicine and you're on a ventilator, then you pretty much have to be sedated, for lack of a better term.
Right. Okay. Yep, that makes sense. So good morning, midlife. Don't see you here very often.
No, I saw so I've been following the Dusty thing. I've been reselling since 2013, since my kids were little. Let's see. Say hi, Sarah. Hi. Just getting them off to school. And I saw you guys had that update. I've been watching his sister's Facebook feed, for updates and stuff. And then I was waiting for the Bearded Pickers, Steve's live thing, and I didn't see it pop up. And I found you guys. So therefore, here I am. So I found you. But,
nice.
What sad news? I mean, I'm a ER nurse, and I just do reselling, just part time. So like when that whole thing kind of started happening, I was like, oh my gosh. And I just been praying for him every day, and it's so sad. It's such sad news, but the whole ventilator thing, that there's a lot of truth in that. And then I was really praying, because it gets pretty difficult, when the ventilator kicks in. So, different
Yeah.
statistic as far as surviving.
Yeah, I was curious about what's your first name?
So I'm Karen.
Karen. When somebody goes on a ventilator, and do they stay on it at what point do they get better and start to get off of it? I guess I'm trying to form a sentence here.
Yeah, I think like them, like I'm not an ICU nurse. I'm just in the emergency department. So we usually they come in, people come in, and then we'll have to put them on a ventilator. We'll have to intubate them, and then they go off to the ICU. Yeah, but I mean, the doctors I know in the ICU, I mean, they're watching all sorts of stuff, all sorts of laboratory, blood results and things like that. If someone's septic, to see if they're responding to like antibiotic treatment, to fluid resuscitation. And then, when you're intubated too, you're sedated, so that you can stay on the equipment. But every day they do a check. They lighten your sedation. Because they have to do like neurological checks to see that your brain is working still. So, so every day they will do that. But it's just light enough to just, do the neurological, and then they sedate you again. So, yeah, but the COVID, I don't know. I love listening to his 3-hour rants.
Yeah.
My kids even know the Southern drawl. I'm from the Midwest, so I don't know. Him and his wife, it's, what sad news. That's all. And
he's the reason I started doing the travel time chit chat series, was because I could watch him just sitting in his car chatting for so long. And I said, you know what? I love just being able to put him on and just listen to him. I don't have to like watch. I can it's almost like a podcast format. And so I started doing that on my channel, all because of what he had done and provided to me. And I wanted to kind of reciprocate that back into the reselling community. So
he's touched, he's touched so many people in so many ways, and Tristan as well, I think it's just going to be a huge loss to the whole reseller community.
It's raining.
It is,
here
and
now.
I just feel for his children and having to go with both parents.
How old was his son? His son was still living with him because his daughter got married a year ago. Was his son still in high school, college? Was he like 18, 19, somewhere around there?
I think Gabe was around that age. I think.
Okay.
And the daughter, Windsor, I think she got married, but I think she's like in her very, very early 20s.
Yeah, she got married about a year ago because it was around Halloween or something last year. I think she's early 20s, but I wasn't sure how old the son was, or if he was out of high school or in college.
Yeah. And Gabe, I guess he was sick with it as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Has anybody heard how he's doing with COVID? Has he gotten better? I think I heard that he has gotten better, but I haven't really heard definitively. Whoever I heard from that he was on that Dusty was in ICU is the same person. I think I heard that Gabe was doing better, and unfortunately Dusty wasn't.
Were they able to visit him in the hospital, or was that restricted?
I saw like a post. I did see a post from, I think it was on the sister's channel or Facebook. Someone, that someone like a niece or someone was able to visit him like every day for a half hour, like a short time but I think that's before he went on the ventilator. I think he was still like on the breathing, the BiPAP. Because
here, I'm looking at this comment here, Sandy, about 3 people survive after being intubated. I wondered what the statistics were on that.
Yeah, I've heard it's not very good.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
No.
Because I think what I heard was that at the beginning of COVID, they were putting a lot of people on ventilators because they thought that's what they needed. That's what you would do for, pneumonia or whatever. But they said that they found that it's actually was worse to do that. But then they came out with new therapeutics that were working to keep people from getting on a ventilator. I'm wondering how many hospitals are using all of those therapeutics that are available now.
Well, I know us working in the emergency department, like now we will not intubate right away. Actually, COVID patient.
Anybody else see her skipping, or is it just on my end?
Well, I see you kind of a
lose
little
my-
staticky
There-
a few times, Tamara.
Yeah, you've done the same thing, Holly. When you've talked, there's times when it kind of freezes, and so I don't know but it might be StreamYard then if it's all
Yeah.
3 of us. My internet's not showing that it's blipping out like it normally does. Actually, let me change routers I'm on. I'll change to this one. It might blip
All right.
here for a second.
Can y'all hear me?
There, I just changed routers. Maybe that'll be better.
You're frozen, Karen, but we can't hear you.
Yes, we can hear you, but you're frozen.
I didn't realize you were getting ready to go to work.
Oh, I got to drop the kids off to school.
Oh, okay.
Can you
Well,
hear me?
that's work too.
Maybe I'll click
That's
back
work.
on once I get back because I think my internet is screwing up because I'm switching over from car to, the inside of the
Data.
house to the outside of the house.
Yeah.
Oh
But,
yeah, that's what mine does too.
Yeah. But there's different, like as far as in the ER, we put people on like high flow oxygen right away. And then we prone people. And then we also, we'll put the BiPAP on if needed. But that's all before intubation. We do all those things before.
Yeah, he
We
was
don't
on
go
the
right to
BiPAP
intubation.
when he did that video 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was on BiPAP.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And unfortunately there's, like early, if you catch it early is the best. Because you can get some medications that we know work now, like Decadron. And then, but if unfortunately, if it goes too long, your lungs develop that ARDS, and that's very hard to come back from.
Mom, go.
So
We're gonna be late.
oh, we're gonna be late. Okay, I'll click back on.
All right, Karen.
I'll write a note. I'll give you a
Okay.
note, kids. Don't
Yes.
worry.
Okay. Yeah, they're gonna give you a note. Say bye, girls.
Bye.
Bye.
Mother was busy with updating us. You get a pass.
Yes, exactly. I want to say hi. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I see Charlie, you came in. Good morning. Sandy, I think I missed you. Stitch It, Lisa, Cindy. Even though I popped up your messages. And Jane. Hey, some new names. So I'm welcome to my channel. Some people have not seen you, or whether or not you've been here and you just have not normally spoken. For anybody that's new, I just wanted to update because I see we got 23 people in here. The sad news in the reselling community is that Dusty from Alabama Pickers passed away last night. So for those who happen to have watched his channel, and if you're not aware, his wife passed away a couple weeks ago. Both of them had COVID, and they do have 2 children that they're leaving behind.
Mm-hmm.
So Tex Arizona Cross, I'm assuming that's what the AZ stands for. Welcome to the channel. I feel kind of weird packing while I'm talking about this, but I got to get my orders packed. So I got plans this afternoon. I did sell these Pokemon cards. Finally, I bought four packs of these types of cards, and 2 of them sold last week, and I got this one this week.
Is Pokemon still? All right, I know more about nuclear physics than I do about Pokemon. Is Pokemon still popular? I hear it being talked about every now and then.
I think the vintage ones are still popular, but
Okay.
I'm not sure that these, I don't think it's as hyped as it was in the spring.
Yes.
I feel like it's died down quite a bit.
That I can figure out.
Hey, good morning, Claudia.
Oh, Claudia's in. Good. Yeah, I hear Pokemon here, there, and yonder, and I figure it's kind of like you got the OGs of it or something, you know.
Yeah, if I can find any like original ones, then
Mhm.
I'll definitely grab those. I think about my son when we were moving. I think I've shared this before, but when we were moving, I had he was cleaning out his bedroom and he had a ton of Pokemon stuff he didn't want anymore, and we sold so much of it. I sold this whole book of Pokemon cards. Didn't take the time to look them all up because there were too many. And now I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I would have hung on to them. He had original ones because he's been doing it since he was like 5 years old. So since 1999,
Yeah.
he was picking up Pokemon cards. And he used to go to like, his were not in mint condition though, because he used his.
Right.
He would go to
He
Pokemon
played with them.
tournaments and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, Nancy. Welcome. She says, hello. I finally got here in time for your live. Yay. I did well, I guess 9 o'clock is a little later than normal, but earlier than normal too. Because Wednesdays I was going to try doing 10 o'clock, but I have plans today, so I went on live. And I realized I think that Scott, the bearded picker, didn't end up going live today, and I know that a lot of my audience likes to watch him too. So I don't like to compete with him because I definitely notice my numbers are lower when I go live when he's live.
Well, like I said, I don't know anything about Pokemon cards. All I know is about my brother was into baseball cards back in the 70s, and he still has a bunch of his old ones. But, you know, there's all this grading and everything else. I don't fully understand all the different areas of cards. I just know that there's a lot of money to be made. And I did see an interesting video from a guy in his probably mid 30s talking about how much money he spent and lost on basketball cards.
Oh my gosh.
And it's kind of like you know, I think you're always looking for a certain one to complete the set. And he kind of said he got a little overwhelmed with it or a little too much into it and said I had to kind of back off because he realized I was spending a lot of money on cards and didn't really have that much disposable income. But
yeah, I had bought some cards to resell, and any that I had packed, I think I pretty much have sold all of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I did open a pack and was looking for that, whatever that basketball player everybody was looking for. I didn't have them, but I had some that I was told were of value, so I listed those. I've sold very, very few of them. Very few of them. But I mean, I did it really just for YouTube. So I sold the shirt.
Oh, that's cute.
From Maurice's. I actually picked it up at a garage sale for myself, and it ended up being too short. I got a longer torso, and I have a very hard time finding shirts that are long enough for me. This was too short, so I listed it, and I think I paid like 50 cents for it at a garage sale and sold it for 16. So that's pretty good.
Well, I had as you can tell from my background here, I've got all my, I do sewing. And I was looking through some of my patterns, of which I admit I have a few patterns. And I found some duplicates that I accidentally bought, which, you know, what the hell, they were $2 a pack. So I listed some patterns last night, and I sold one this morning, which is very unusual for patterns to sell that quickly because it's a fairly new pattern. And but when I did the comps on it, there weren't any others. I think all the other ones had already sold. So in fact, the cha-ching woke me up this morning. So I sold that pattern kind of quick.
Hey, good morning, Michelle.
Because mostly those patterns are super long tail, like everything else I've got. But I've got a bunch of a local bookstore was going out of business, and we had a credit with them. So I got a bunch of old books,
Mm.
some westerns. Got a lot of sci-fi too.
Oh, that's good. So I've heard if I ever see old books, I'm looking for sci-fi and anything horror. They say does really well.
The selection of horror wasn't that good. So I think I'm going to take a bunch of these westerns and group them together because there's a lot of them by the same author. I have sold several of the sci-fi ones, and I don't put up offers because a lot of stuff of what I sell is really not very high dollar stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I have hardly anything in it. And guy messaged me and said the book was about $10 and it was free shipping. He said, "Would you take 5 for it?" And I said, "No, I won't." I said, "Postage just went up to $3.19, and I'm going to keep my price for a while." And
Yeah, I hate when people send you an offer and you literally just listed something, and then they send you an offer. It's like I
hey,
just listed it. I sold another one of those
Elf on a
elf on a
Shelf?
shelf things.
Cute. Well,
So,
those I don't remember those back in the 60s.
what, elf on a shelf?
Yeah, I don't remember us
Yeah,
having.
I don't remember. My kids never had an elf on the shelf growing up. I think they were around, but I don't think it was as popular as it is today.
Yeah, I don't
Of course,
remember those
there weren't
either.
things like TikTok and Instagram and all that around either when my kids were growing up. So we never had them. But yeah, I picked up this. These were retail arbitrage. I paid full price for them. They were $9.88, $9.95, but I sold it for $19.88.
Yeah, we just had good old urban myths back then.
I'm like, I think it would be so much fun. I did a search the other day for Elf on a Shelf, and just to kind of see what else is selling out there. And there were like Halloween costumes and everything else. So obviously they're even marketing it for year round, not just at Christmas time.
I see Stitch It. I saw your handle there. I wondered what kind of sewing you were into.
Have any of you ever thought about creating your own patterns and selling those on Etsy? Because
No.
that's a pretty good market.
No, listen, I can barely put something together. I'll step away for a minute and show you a few things I've got. Let me turn my camera off real quick and I'll go show you a few things.
Let's see. This is only 3 ounces. That's nice when they're light like that. I'm already getting my mind into the what sold during Q4 last year that I can start kind of picking up and having available as things become available in the stores. Time to start grabbing them for me because I do some RA items. Is anybody new that missed the announcement of the sad news? Because I can repeat it. I don't want to just keep repeating it if there's nobody new. Oh, I hate when your tape falls on your tape gun. It sticks down. I had a sale on Truegether. Does anybody sell on that? So I sell on Bonanza and Truegether. It's so simple. You just import. I have a video on how to do it on Bonanza, but it's really simple. It imports all of your items from eBay for free. And as you sell things, it takes it down. And as you list things, it puts it up. So it's really, really a no-brainer in my opinion. But Truegether, I haven't sold anything since the spring of 2020 on there. And I had a sale on there. All right. I sold this Ozark mug. These are all on clearance at Walmart for $3. I bought quite a few of them. I got white ones and pink ones. And my plan was actually to put some, with my Cricut, put some designs on it and sell them on Etsy. But you know, that market is so flooded that I ended up not doing it. Sold this outright, paid $3. I sold it for $11.88 plus shipping. Hey, good morning, Paul. Did you hear the sad news in the reselling world? 864. I need an 844. Where did you go, E44s? I might need to get up and go get it. Go get another box. I can put it in an 864. Maybe. Let's see if it fits. If it fits in an 864. Oh, that's going to be really tight. I don't think I'm going to use that. And are you going to be priority? I think you might be. Oh, yeah, it's priority. So let's use. Well, this would be a good box. It's an eBay box. It's not a priority box, but it's a 1266. I think this might work really well for that. Claudia says, I have a shop on eCrater, and once in a while I get a sale, usually from Australia or Canada. Gosh, I haven't heard eCrater in so long. It's been a long time since I've even heard about eCrater. Do you have to pay for that, eCrater? Like, is it a monthly fee or anything?
Okay, show and tell while you do taping. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. I consider myself an advanced beginner. I've been sewing 30 plus years, but you really can't get into sewing when you're working full time. And back in the day before YouTube and everything else, learning sewing was a little bit more challenging from books and stuff. But since I've been retired, I've been working on various projects. There's a lady called Annie, and her name of her shop is by Annie, ANNIE. And she specializes in bags, and this is a bag. Let me see if I can get a good camera shot of it.
Oh, that
And
is beautiful.
and this is like a big bag there.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure Stitch It will appreciate this. Putting in a zipper is challenging. It's challenging. I'll just tell you that.
I've heard that about it.
This is a zipper that you buy by the foot, and then you just put it in. But that a personal achievement there, sports fans.
So you made that?
I made everything. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Got the little
Love the
hook
print.
here. And then
It looks very Vera Bradley-ish.
yeah, thank you. And
With
it's
the quilted-
you have this foam stuff that you used to make it stand up, and then I quilted it. And then here is the baby version of it. This is the baby version. I did this one by all of her instructions, and it's got little. Can you see the netting in there?
Yep.
I really wouldn't. The netting's okay. I didn't include it in the big one, but this is a small one. And then I put the zipper in again. And then this is kind of good to grab. So you grab that and then you pull the zipper the other way, you know. And then there's little things on the side here. I got rid of those on the second one. Didn't really need that. But putting that zipper in and doing that binding, there we go. That took several 4-letter words and a couple of tries to get that binding on there. Oh, you made me big. Thank you.
I'm like, oh, why don't I make you big so I can see it? So I'm not sitting here trying to look at it big.
There's the zipper there. And then this tab here, I'm backwards. The tab there, you put on that. And then you have all these different color of zipper pulls that you can put on. But her instructions are fabulous. I will give her total thumbs up on her instructions by Annie. She's
Nice.
in Utah or Idaho or somewhere there. You can get her stuff on Amazon. But her instructions are very detailed and take you every single step. Some instructions just say cut it and sew it. She tells you to do this, this, and this. But I was real pleased how these turned out. And then I kind of made this one on my own after I'd done the other ones. This is kind of like the old bank envelopes. Again, you've got the zipper there. And this is just on the inside right there. And
Very
quilting,
nice.
yeah. So that was kind of cute. And I've made clothing and other things, but these are just some other things I pulled out. But her
Dawn,
instructions,
do you sell any of your stuff?
nah.
No.
No.
I just bought a Vera Bradley crossbody purse on Macari. I've been searching for a Christmas themed one, and I found one that was okay. But yeah, do you make crossbody purses? I'd pay you to make me one. I want one with I want a cardinal print on it. Something to do with cardinals.
Check out Vera Bradley Outlet online because I got 2 purses.
Yeah, they don't have anything that has cardinals though.
Yeah. Well, I got 2 purses for like $35. Now the selection's not as good, but the prices are much better. But I got some Vera Bradley purses.
Well, this one that I bought was, I think I paid either 15 or 17 for it. And I haven't, Sherry, I haven't forgotten that you asked me how much I sold that for. I'm going to look, where did I buy that? Let's see. How do you find?
This is the Vera Bradley purse I bought online. And
That one's pretty.
This is called Messenger, I think. It's a crossbody, and it's got a little pocket thing there and a zipper. And then my phone fits perfectly in here.
Yeah, I think they're called the triple zip.
Yeah. I've got this in kind of a darker blue. Now, I did not make this, so this is Vera Bradley. But that's the style I like.
Yeah, me too. This is the one I just bought. Right here.
Yeah.
Same
That's
style.
a little different than this one, but
Oh, is it?
similar.
Okay. This was called the triple zip, which I don't really know why, because there's only 2 zippers right here.
Well, there might be a zipper on the inside.
But it's got the pocket on the outside. So it's kind of it's red, it's Christmassy. But $17 plus shipping was a very, very good price for this. And they say like new, but yeah, when I got it, there's like no wear or anything on it. It's in just excellent condition.
Yeah, I bought some used ones, and that's where I came across the style that I liked. And there's going to be some wear on them, but that's fine.
Oh, I'm actually going to pirate ship for shipping on this because it came up higher. Well, it weighs 1 pound 7 ounces, which I didn't think it was going to be that heavy. It's costing $10.44 to ship it. Whew. So I sold it for $11.88 plus shipping, but they only paid $5.66 towards shipping. So I'm pretty much going to break even on this after fees. Because it's $10.13 if I buy it through eBay. So I'm going to go through eBay. Regional.
I got a little message yesterday. I sent something personal from my mom to somebody in Florida. Has nothing to do with eBay. Well, PayPal doesn't do shipping anymore. PayPal sends you over to ShipStation or somebody like that.
Oh, really? I just used it the other day for shipping.
Well, maybe they've integrated it differently.
Yeah, or maybe I remember seeing that announcement, but maybe it hasn't taken effect yet because I had a buyer who purchased an item from me on eBay, and in case anybody ever has this happen to them, it got returned to me because he sent it to his work. And he's like, oh, I've been working from home. I forgot to change my address. So he contacted me first and said, hey, this is coming back. Remember when I sold that Mandalorian? I don't know if you were on that day. The Mandalorian Pyrex bowl.
Yes.
So it was that. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, that was expensive to ship. It's heavy. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe he paid $30 or whatever it was to begin with. And now he's paying on top of it. He offered to pay to shipping again. So I actually sent him my PayPal email address in a message on eBay. I thought for sure it was going to get flagged and eBay was going to tell me I can't send him my email address. But I told him how much shipping was, and he actually rounded it up and sent me $15. And I went to PayPal after he paid and shipped it through PayPal. So it was really nice because it used to be you would have their PayPal information when you were before on managed payment. So you could easily send them an invoice for additional, because sometimes people will be like, they'll buy something and they'll say, hey, can you overnight it for me? I'll pay the extra. And it's like, well, you needed to ask me before you bought it, because how am I going to add on the extra? Because it's not through PayPal anymore. But thankfully, I was able to send him my email. I've not gotten any emails from eBay saying don't do that anymore or anything like that. So it worked. But yes, I printed the label right through eBay. PayPal.
Well, anyhow, I shipped something by a pirate ship. And this was at the beginning of September. And then I got a charge on my credit card for like $3.83. And I thought, okay, what's going on? And then come to find out there's some automatic parcel viewing or something with the post office wants to nail me for an extra $4. So they must have thought that it was priority. So I put an appeal in saying, no, it only weighed 8 ounces. It was 9 by 12. And I shouldn't be charged extra. And then when I was walking home, I live so close to the post office, I can walk over there. And I was thinking yesterday when I came back, I thought, wait, I should have the receipt for that. So if they deny me, I'm going to say, no, here's the receipt from the post office.
Right.
So and it said 7.1 ounces and I paid for 8. So that's the first time that's ever happened to me. So, but they say this doesn't always work and sometimes it's wrong, but somehow or another, the post office has got automated parcel viewing, I think it's called.
I've heard so many people have been getting charges for additional postage over and over and over again. Most of them don't end up winning. I know for me, if I got it, I probably wouldn't. There's no way I'd really be able to fight it because I bring my packages and just leave them. I don't get a receipt. I don't sit there and wait for him to weigh everything or do any of that stuff. But in the long run, it helps because there are times, which you guys know, on where I've had Facebook Marketplace orders and I'm like, oh, shoot. I put it in as a 15 ounce and it's 1.1, 1 pound, one out. Well, I'll still send it at the 15 ounce rate. And if it gets caught, I'll pay the extra. And I haven't gotten any bills from Facebook saying, hey, you were off. So I figure if I lose out every now and then because the post office does something wrong, then, well, I've done something wrong a few times. So I figure it will balance out in the long run. I sold this sweatshirt on Amazon.
Cute.
Finally, I've had it for so long. Beaver Creek. Don't even know who that is.
I've never heard of that either.
It's by the brand Ouray. Ouray. I think Ouray makes. I think they just make items for like Imprint. If you're familiar with that business, Imprint. I think they just make items for companies. So Beaver Creek, I'm guessing, is probably like maybe a resort or something. I don't really know, but it sold. All I know is I had $2.52 into it, and it sold for $19.56.
I won't tell you how old I was in 1956.
I wasn't even a thought on my parents' mind, I don't think.
I was 1 year old.
I don't think they were even thinking of me.
Oh, yes. I was already a pain.
All right, I got to put in... Doesn't give me flat rate. What size is this? 12.5 by 9.5.
Well, I've been getting some good deals on our local auction lately.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In addition to sewing patterns, I also sell flatware, stainless steel flatware. All of it's discontinued. And again, I sell on eBay as a hobby. I do not sell on eBay to support myself full time because I'm retired. And sourcing flatware at estate sales is not very successful. It's just, you're going to occasionally get lucky, but you just don't get that well. I usually get most of my stuff off of eBay. or I'll get it at a local auction. And I've been scoring really good on some stuff at an auction lately. And tonight there's an auction, and right now it's looking pretty good. But I've been getting some good deals from our local auction.
I haven't gotten anything good at ours. It's been, well, they sold a railroad bell the other day, and my husband says, hey, the auction's on, and I pulled it up, and it went for almost, I think it was $1,100, a railroad bell.
I'll take your railroad bell and I'll raise you steps. There were 4 sisters who lived near, I live in a small town in Kentucky. And there were 4 sisters who lived together, and the last one died within several months ago. And they had stone steps, like steps going up to your house.
Yeah.
Those steps sold, I want to say, for over $1,000.
Wow.
And yeah, that was interesting. But,
Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of money.
yeah. It's really weird.
Well, I looked up those bells on eBay, and there was quite a few listed in the 2,000 range, but there's not any recently sold in the last 90 days. So I thought, well, how much are they really worth? Because it's not like, because I mean, you could go to Terapeak and look, but if there's some listed and they're not selling at 2,000, that I would say they're not really worth 2,000. So I don't know why there was a bidding war. Somebody was there in person. It was an online only auction, and there was a person there in person bidding on it. And when he didn't end up winning. Somebody online won. And he's like, so I'm out. And the guy goes, yep. And he you can hear the door slam. So he left. He was there to bid on that one item.
Well, our auction, the one I go to, is strictly all online.
Oh, well, this was all online, but must be they let people just show up in person, because there's not any in-person bidding.
That's odd.
It's usually just the workers, which I would get annoyed sometimes because the workers bid, and I don't think that's right.
That's not right. What you got?
I sold this. This is a spider. I don't even know, the front of it is here. A spider jacket. As you can see, there's an Amazon label.
Mm-hmm.
I had them on Amazon. I pulled them back a while ago. Threw them up FBM, plus on eBay and Poshmark, and all the places I sell. And it sold on Amazon for $67.95. I bought it at Sierra Trading Company.
Sierra Trading Post?
Trading Post. I bought it online when I was doing online arbitrage for $42. So at this point, I'm pretty much breaking even because it's with free shipping. And I don't think this is not going to fit into a flat rate, a padded flat rate.
Well, do you have any of those vacuum seal bags?
I don't.
Because when I sold quilts, when I first started selling on eBay, I got some of those vacuum seal storage bags, those really big ones.
Yeah.
And I put the quilt in it. This, talk about trial and error. I'd put the quilt on the bed and I'd fold it up. Then I'd put the box that I want to put it into and try and fold it up to the closest size. Then I put the vacuum cleaner into that hole and sucked it out. And I finally got them to fit in the box.
Oh, wow.
And again, a little bit of trial and error. And I would tape down the Ziploc seal just in case, because that thing pops open. It bing. But
right.
I sent 4 or 5 good-sized quilts that way and used those storage vacuum seal bags, and it worked out pretty good. Those things are really hard when you take all the air out. From soft and fluffy, and it becomes really hard when you take all that air out.
When I've sold one of these before, because the information is in here, and right now for priority mail, it's only not $7.96. So it will go priority mail. I don't have to fuss with a flat rate, but it's going to be hard to fit into that.
Try wrapping it with your saran wrap.
It's going to Connecticut. So we had some of those air those airbags there, because when we moved, we put a lot of our clothes and blankets and stuff into them, and so we wouldn't have as many items to move, as many packages. I'm gonna try this one more time. Otherwise, I'm gonna grab another envelope and put it in it, just a normal one. I think it's gonna fit. But a lot of times I'll sit there and say, well, what's the price difference? If it's huge, like a quilt, it could be a pretty big price difference. But if it's going to be $2, I'm going to save $2. I'm not going to go through all of that work for $2, because I'd have to get out the vacuum cleaner and sit on it. The problem is when I push down on it, it pops out of the end of this envelope right now. I don't think it's gonna fit. It's the plastic bag keeps popping out. It's almost like the bag is hindering my using this envelope. Let's see. All right, think they're gonna be smart enough not to use a knife and cut through this and cut the jacket. When you hear me complain because I got a return on Amazon because somebody says their jacket came with a hole in it.
I got very creative when I was selling a lot of quilts and fabric-y things. I printed up on my printer. I said, open carefully, fabric enclosed. And I put those stickers on the back of the box or the bag. So they're not going to get the knife out and do the big, cut. And even when I would be selling some paper or whatever, I'd say open carefully, paper enclosed. And I just
put paper. Did you? I was watching the news yesterday on NBC, the Today Show. They were talking about there's a paper shortage, that actual paper, because what happened was so many people were buying online, and remember people were having a hard time getting boxes last year. Remember, there was an issue getting boxes. Even some places like Supply Hut that you normally ordered from didn't have any in stock. Hold on, I'm rolling on the edges of this. So
camera attacked by the zebra.
So they ended up switching most of their production lines over to create cardboard boxes.
Oh, I see.
So they stopped making paper. Well, now there's a shortage of paper to buy paper for your printer. And first I also hear there's a shortage of printers, but then there's a shortage for publishing companies for paper. So they're saying if you want a book, if you buy books normally, they talked to somebody at Barnes and Noble that get it early because there's a limited number of even books that are coming out because of that.
Every day there's a new shortage of something.
Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, it is ridiculous. I don't understand the labor shortage.
Well, my brother works for UPS.
Get my head around that.
My brother works for UPS and he works in the logistics division. And he works for the division of you see the really big trucks. They do 18-wheeler stuff, not right. And they deliver to the companies. He works in that part of UPS. And he said that there's a labor shortage and there's also a problem unloading all of the ships that are out in sea, and so there's going to be a delay in delivering stuff. And plus last night I saw on the news, there's not enough truck drivers.
Well, they've been saying that before COVID, that there was
really bad now.
Truck drivers, because there's been this big push to go to college that a lot of people aren't looking at the trades, like being a truck driver, an electrician, a plumber, and all that there's going to be issues with that. So I did hear that that was coming. So I'm not surprised. I sold this little Mickey Mouse.
Oh, that's cute.
Faux succulent thing. Let's see. I think I paid $4 for it. I sold it for $15 plus shipping.
Yay! Very bright red.
864.
Almost reminds me of tomatoes.
I know, a little bit. All right, I gotta go grab my 644 boxes.
Speaking of tomatoes, we like I said, I live in a small town here in Kentucky, And my mom and her friend did a lot of canning and had tomato paste, tomato juice, stewed tomatoes, things like that. So we do a lot of tomatoes down here. And the weather this past spring was very good. We had a fair amount of sun and a fair amount of rain. So everybody's garden was very successful this year in my area. And I don't do canning, but my mom does. They canned tomato everything. So we have that in the storage closet for wintertime cooking. Looks like you got a lot of boxes.
I did. I placed an. Oh, wait a minute.
Get the right size.
These are 444s. I got.
They all kind of look the same when they're flat.
I think I got 6 with them.
One thing I noticed when I do sell my flatware and I sell multiples of something, I send them in a 9x4x3 box. I noticed my boxes were weighing too much. And I was listening to Scott one day, and he mentioned about lighter weight boxes. And I found out something about boxes I didn't know. There's a crush rating, ECT. And I had bought some boxes with a higher crush rating. And he talked about boxes that had a lower crush rating, a 20,
Right.
23
That's
or 40.
that's what Supply Hut was known
Yeah.
for, was their low crush rating.
And
These are thicker,
yeah,
so they hold up better. So I'm okay with shipping something like this. in
Yeah,
these
that's
thick
different.
boxes. But that in those Supply Hut would have been, I don't know, I would have to put a lot of bubble wrap on it.
no,
Hey, good morning, Doyle.
hey Doyle. So I purposely wanted the lower crush rating because when you're sending a fork, you don't need a high
Right.
crush rating box.
And it
Because
keeps your price, because it can keep you from going from a 4 ounce to a 5 ounce where your rate's going to go up.
absolutely. So like I said, when I send a single one, I use my pool noodle to wrap it up in. And
Are you able to find pool noodles right now?
no, I'm glad I bought them when I did. I did pay full price for them, but they didn't have that many to begin with. And once they sold out, they didn't bring any more in to have for a quarter a piece.
Yeah, I found them kind of hard this year to
Yeah.
find.
So I bought them when they first came out in the spring, and yeah, I paid $1 for one, but I don't use hardly any bubble wrap, and that seems to work good for me. But I use those lower crush rating boxes when I send multiple of my flatware, and it keeps me from going over to the next postage area.
Right, yeah. Yep.
But that was good to know because I kept thinking, this box weighs so much. I need a lighter weight box. And I didn't know about this crush rating, which made it a lighter weight. So I buy the lighter weight ones. I do have some other ones. So if I'm going to be 8 ounces, no matter what, I'll use those heavier ones. But I do use the smaller ones or the lighter ones. And that works out pretty good. Plus pretty poly bags. Are you familiar with Bloomin' Clothing? Melissa down in Florida.
No,
She had kind of a
that might be too small. Hey, good morning, Anissa. Wow, it's been a long time since we've caught you here. Doyle says foam is in short supply.
what's in short supply?
Foam.
Huh.
Hey, Doyle, I don't know. Did you hear the news about Dusty, Alabama picker? Ends up fitting in this. I know Anissa did. I'm pretty sure I saw you in the chat this morning in Pat's show. 8. So tell them how you sell a lot of silverware, and you take your silverware and you put you're talking about pool noodles.
Yeah.
So you just slice your pool noodle and you put your spoon or fork or whatever in the middle of it, and
Yeah. And then I
That must be really good for knives, so the knives don't puncture out of the packaging.
don't sell that many. Believe it or not, knives do not sell well at all.
Really?
Oh no, I can't give those things away.
Oh, I just had a low ball on it's actually a sharp knife. A
I'm
vintage-
talking regular knives, like
yeah, just butter knives.
yeah.
Heck, I got 100 butter knives.
Ugh.
You just don't go through them enough. Like
Well-
my husband and I will share a butter knife. We don't each have a butter knife. Like we each have a fork.
There is a difference between a butter knife and then a place setting knife. What you're calling a butter knife is probably the one that's,
The place setting knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but there are butter knives, of which I've sold those too. And
Yeah.
those are much smaller. There's a master butter knife and just a regular butter knife. So there's a master butter knife,
I'm
which,
not that fancy.
well, this is all stainless steel. This ain't silver. Oh, that's cute.
Isn't that cute? It's a planter. I sold this on Facebook. I forgot to say that Mickey Mouse was on Facebook Marketplace. And then,
That's
oh,
pretty.
pipes insulation might be good backup instead of noodles. So, yeah.
I do appreciate
It
your
doesn't have
comment
any,
there.
It doesn't have any markings on it.
Yeah.
So things don't have to have markings on it. I sold this for $28.
Yeah, I did look at the pipe insulation. I don't think I'm going to run out of pool noodles because I bought a boatload of them. But if I do, I did look at the pipe insulation for that. But the noodles did not go on sale in my area the way that they have in regular years. So when they were coming out, I just get a bunch of them. We had a Dollar Tree open up in my small town, and I would just buy a bunch there, and they're down in the basement, so that's fine.
I'm finding out a lot of stuff isn't going on sale that used to go on sale.
Well, there's not a lot of stuff sometimes to go on sale.
Right. They're selling out of what they have that they don't have the extras.
Are you familiar with Meijer, the store Meijer?
I've heard of it, but we don't have them here.
Okay, it started in Michigan, and it's kind of like a super Target. In fact, it was one of the first stores to have groceries and regular stores together, I think. I remember, but anyhow, Meijer opened up in a town near where I live, and we went grocery shopping there last week, and there were lots of signs on a bunch of the aisles saying limit this, limit that. And there were several holes in some of the aisles of various things. And a lot of it was cleaning supplies and some paper products. But then it was just kind of hit and miss. But I think we're seeing another wave of things going out.
And I mentioned that about paper to my mother, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, that means toilet paper is going to be backed up again." I said, "I haven't heard if there's any toilet paper shortage again. I think we're going to be okay." I don't think we're going to see as many shortages. I think a lot of the shortages was that at the beginning we were surprised by it, and so places got shut down, and they shut down stuff. They're not shutting down stuff. I think they learned, whether it's a political maneuver or not, but they learned that it just isn't good for the economy to shut everything down. So hopefully they don't do that.
We've learned more about the pandemic and how to work around it. And we know we're more knowledgeable now of what we're dealing with. But I think we're going to have issues of certain things not appearing, a delay type of stuff.
Yeah, I think we're going to see some.
Did you see here? Costco has a limit on TP and paper towels of 1.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think my BJ's had a limit too when I went, which I don't normally buy more than, well, you know, it's funny. If I can just say they have a limit of 1, but you can buy 1 pack of Charmin, 1 pack of Kirkland brand, so you can't buy more than 1 of that specific brand, but I've been able to buy more than 1 of different brands when things were tight. Now I just buy the 1. I haven't. Yeah. I don't have room. I don't want to stockpile. I'm not a stockpiler. I'll just deal with something. I'll just use something else if I have to. I wonder how many people put in bidets. I wonder how the price of bidets have gone up.
Well, first of all, find a plumber who knows how to, who installs those things.
I know. My husband would be able to figure it out because he's just smart like that.
By the time you
Yeah,
pay,
good morning, Hot Flip Heidi. Yeah, so sad about Dusty and Tristan. I just donated to the GoFundMe set up a few weeks ago for funeral expenses. Yeah, I donated to that when they first set it up. Now I'm assuming the money will go to both of their funerals, and of course anything left over to the kids, because I just can't even imagine. Can't even imagine losing both your parents.
it's going to be really tough for their son because he's going to.
Well, he's at home by himself
Yeah.
versus the daughter who's got a husband and her own place.
Yeah.
It's going to suck obviously for both, but
Sure.
he just has an extra suck on top of that. I wonder if my video will be demonetized today because I talked about COVID.
That really kind of perplexes me because it's not like nobody talks about it. It's part of our lives right now. And why they get all bent out of shape by somebody mentioning it and demonetizing you when it's on the news all over the place.
I know. I don't understand it. I don't.
It's not like we're talking some taboo subject here. This is what's happening.
Well, and they complain about not enough people getting vaccinated, yet places like YouTube, you don't have the ability to discuss the topic to bring awareness to things. Yeah. Without losing your monetization. And there's bigger channels rely on that.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Me neither. But there's a little form I have to fill out now that says what did I talk about any controversial subjects? Did I use any inappropriate language? All that kind of stuff in order to get monetized.
Heidi, I think the son is 17, 18, 19, somewhere around there. We're not 100% sure how old he is, but I think he's maybe right out of high school, maybe starting something else. I think he's
up there. He's like a young adult.
Yeah, 17, 18, 19, 20, somewhere in that range.
See, 18,
19,
yeah,
okay.
It's in there.
Okay, thanks, Craig, because I heard him mention him, but I never heard he just graduated school or he's got a job. I never heard a specific life marker to understand how old he was.
Yep.
But he's got some real challenges right now. It's he was living at home now.
Yeah, that's what we talk about. He was living at home, and that's why it's going to be hard for both of them, but for him, he's now going to be in a home where his parents used to be, and he's going to be there by himself. And then he's got to figure out, hopefully his sister is compassionate enough to not be like, get out of the house, we're going to sell it now. And,
But they rent the home.
Oh, they rent it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh, then that's going to be even tougher because now he's got to come up with rent. Oof. Yeah, that's tough.
They had a pretty good deal with their landlord, and they paid a very modest price, I believe. And he could probably rent that house cheaper than he could an apartment.
That's good then.
Yeah, I mean,
well, he's in Alabama, isn't it? It's cheap to live in Alabama.
Well, I remember them saying they paid less than $1,000 a month for that place, and it's a lot of room for one person. But that's going to take a time for them to. His eBay business. Oh, I remember seeing those.
So I sold these. They were in my garage sale, and if you guys remember, on Monday I said I'm going to go clean up my garage sale. So that's what I was doing, and I put a bunch of these items on local pickup, bunch of stuff from the garage sale that I said, these are really nice. I don't really want to box them up, and breakable stuff. And I took pictures of them and put it on local pickup. And these are light enough that I said, I'm just going to add shipping to these. And they sold like right away. But I only sold them for $10 for the two of them. My mother was only asking, I think $2 for them at the garage sale. But when I listed them, I'm like, listen, I got to make something off from this. So I listed them for $10. Yeah, but they're light and I went priority mail with them. So they'll easily fit in one of those like t-shirt boxes.
Is it wood or metal?
It's metal, but it's a very thin metal. They were all black and my mother painted the birds on them.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So they're cute. I don't even know if she ever had them hanging. I don't recall ever seeing them. I think she painted them and then never put it up.
Heidi's saying, what did you
That's
call
my
them?
mother. She must, I just realized my mom didn't pop in today. She must not have had a good night's sleep. She's been having a really tough time sleeping at night.
Heidi says, what did you call them on eBay? How did you describe them?
So I sold them on Facebook and I just put it, 2 birds wall decor metal. That was it. My whole goal was to sell them locally and have them do local pickup. And so no fancy title.
Picture said it all.
Yeah.
The painting of the bird was a good idea. I like that. It pops it.
Yeah, because it was otherwise just plain black, and you could have done any color, and you could have done them 2 different colors. Now I would have painted it red like a cardinal, because that's what I love, cardinals. Oh, and I think you're a Facebook friend of mine, aren't you?
Yeah.
I posted a picture of I just finally decided to do my autumn tier tray.
I saw that. I saw it on, I think, Instagram.
I think I also put it on my 2 Birds Home Decor Facebook page.
I saw it somewhere, and I liked it. It's cute.
Yeah, none of it is homemade. Like I didn't make anything. So yesterday I was making something, and I said, I think I'm going to put this on my tray because there's nothing on my tray that's homemade, and that's what we do. My mom and I is make stuff and sell it. Yeah. She was over here yesterday. I was making some stuff with the Cricut for her, and then I had gotten a custom order on Facebook, which I don't normally do custom orders. This person had reached out, and I said, "Oh, what the heck? I'll do it." She wanted four of something.
Speaking of home decor, I was looking at something online, and I came across a wreath that you sew. And
Wow.
this is, let me take it out of the plastic bag. I thought it would reflect. It's a wreath that you make out of squares. And take away the big bow. See the right there? I'm not going to include the bow, but you can make it as a table.
Oh, that's cute. Hold on, let me make you big. Where's my mouse?
Make me big.
Oh, wait a minute. I keep clicking the wrong thing to make you big. Okay.
So anyhow, it's they're squares, and I'm not a huge fan of that big bow right there, but that's kind of like what it looks like. They're squares that you put together, and then if you wanted to, you could do that table thing.
Yeah.
And then there's another one there. But I thought that looks cute, and I looked at the video on it, and I can pull that one off.
Yeah, that one is cute. I like that one.
But I'm not in love with the bow, but
yeah,
that's me.
I don't like the bow. The bow is kind of like aged. Like people don't make bows like that as much anymore.
Well, and if you really look at the fabric itself, it just does well on its own without that there. And then if you wanted to, you could put some beads or whatever where the points come together. So I'm going to get the
I think I'd still add a bow. I just wouldn't make that type of bow.
Yeah. But I'm going to
that fit perfect in there. Like look, this is where like literally right here. Perfect width, height, everything.
Isn't it satisfying to have something just fit perfectly?
I love when things fit perfectly like this. Love it.
We don't ask for much in life. We just want the item to fit in the box the first time.
Oh my gosh. I know. I don't like to have to Frankenbox or anything like that. So.
Oh, geez. I'm surprised some of the stuff I Frankenbox made it. I bought a pattern book at this auction when I first started reselling. And little old stupid
Tina.
me, those things weigh a ton. You know, the pattern books that you see at the store, those things
Yep.
are freaking gigantic. And they weigh a ton. So
Mhm.
I sold it finally. Of course, it had to be to somebody in Oregon. So
That's how I feel. I get those West Coasters order for me all the time. I'm
I
like,
love
"Oh,
you West Coasters, but sending big things is a challenge. But
no.
I'm up for
Buy
it.
my first class items."
So anyhow, I use pool noodles to protect the side. And I Frankenboxed that bad boy. And it got there. It got there. But
Oh, that garbage is full again. My gosh. Can't believe how much garbage I fill up. Let's
our
see.
local recycling place closed right after COVID hit. And the only thing you can recycle now is paper and boxes, which really disappoints me.
You guys want to? I'm going to share my screen here for a minute. My daughter just posted a. This is my daughter, right? This is why she doesn't want children. She raised these little ferrets. Look at him.
Oh.
Isn't he cute? That's what she raised. That one's Cheech. Oh, can't see it through there. She just shared this memory. That was Cheech and Brady. They passed away last year. She lost all three of hers. Adorable. I figured I'd share why I pick through them. So she got a stroller for him. And there they see they're in the stroller. She'd bring them for a walk in the stroller.
Do they run around the house?
They did. Yes, they ran. Oh, that's right. I got to put my meat. I sold a meat grinder too. I got to remember to put that on the front porch. Yeah, they run around the house. They poop everywhere.
Yeah, kind of like a rabbit.
And they would grab your shoes, your socks, like everything, and just run and hide it. And they were miserable. I hated them. They're cute, but their bad habits were enough for me to not ever want them. So she had them, and then she got her apartment and took them with her. And we had a little area for them, and they would play around when they lived with us. We fenced off an area inside the house, and they would play in there. Yeah, I was glad to see when they left because they stink also. Like, you got to be on top of it all the time, of cleaning it all the time. They had their own bedroom at her house. Yeah. Hey, good morning, John. Yes. John says, not the news I wanted to wake up to. Rest in peace, Dusty and Tristan, for Gabe and Windsor. Oh, that's the daughter's name is Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I wasn't sure what the name was. Yeah, for those who are just popping in who didn't hear, Alabama Picker, who is Dusty and Tristan's channel, Tristan passed away a couple weeks ago of COVID, and Dusty went into the hospital immediately afterwards, and he passed away yesterday or last night, I guess, from COVID. So for those who didn't hear, they have 2 young adult children.
Yeah.
I had a crazy aunt that was licensed to nurse injured possums back to health. Wow. They ran all over her house. I can imagine. Possums, they got their teeth. Yeah.
They got teeth.
Like the ferrets have teeth, but they're tiny. Like one of them, Brady, the darker ferret, he would bite my ankle all the time. Like he would go after my ankle all the time. Just me. Like, it didn't seem like he was ever going after anyone else's. So I'd always have to keep my feet up, and I didn't care for them, but they were her babies. She had one called Noodle, who she would bring Noodle everywhere. Noodle behaved very well. She would put him on a leash. She brought him to the park all the time. She would bring him into work. I mean, everything. He went everywhere with her.
What's the lifespan of a ferret?
I don't know. I think if they live like 3 to 5 years, you're doing pretty good.
Okay.
A lot of them get adrenal disease, and they die from that adrenal disease. All 3 of hers died from that.
Okay.
She had implants. You can get implants, which helps their lifespan. I think think Cheech may have lived maybe 6 more months after his implant, but they're
Okay.
expensive. I mean, unless you have pet insurance, which she didn't, so she was paying for that out of her pocket. Yeah.
I've never been around a ferret, but I was thinking 3-4 years tops. Just
Yeah, and the thing is they I can't think of what the they like bond with one another.
okay.
So when one dies, it's very common for another one to die soon after, because it's almost like dying from love. You know, when you hear like your grandparents, right? Like these bangs are all messed up today. My grandfather passed away and my grandmother died within like 2 months. They say that broken heart. I think that happens with ferrets a lot. So my daughter and grandkids have 3 ferrets and all passed last year. Mine all see, my daughters all passed last year. Well, maybe I think one died. I think Cheech died first and then the other 2 died like, but within like I think a whole year. But one was in like 2019 and then in 2020 the other ones died. Yeah, stinks. But yeah, Tina, you're right. It's sad. Definitely sad about Dusty and Tristan. I opened up the show talking about that and dedicated time to that. But yeah, I can't even imagine. I'm all done packing, by the way, so that's good. I don't have any more stuff to package. I don't know. All I know is what I'll say about COVID is talk to your doctor about the vaccine. Um, don't go by the media. Don't go by social media. Don't go by blogs. Don't get your information from unreliable sources. And I include the media into my unreliable source. Just talk to your medical professionals and find out whether or not it's good for you to get the vaccine. And then you make your own decision. I got the vaccine and I am pro-vaccine, but I'm also very pro-choice, and it's your choice whether or not you want the vaccine. So I don't think it should be mandatory and put on anybody, especially not to hold a job and stuff like that. But I'm happy to know that if I got COVID, there's a very, very low chance that I would pass from COVID. But if I didn't have the vaccine, there's a higher chance I would pass. So her ferrets had adrenal disease also. The kids had allergy to dogs, so ferrets make a great pet for them. It's not bad as long as the kids are willing to help out taking care of them, because they're a lot of work. They sleep a lot, but when they're up, and you can somewhat litter box train them, but they don't make litter like a cat's litter that absorbs it very well, and you can't use cat litter. So they're like pellets. I just never felt like they really did a very good job. Well, my daughter she cleaned that litter all the time. She was cleaning their cage. Every week she would take everything out and wash it and clean it. Like, they were so much work. So much work. It's absolutely crazy how much work they take. But it's almost like, even like a dog is a lot of work. Like, you got to bring a dog out to go to the bathroom. You got to walk it, all this stuff. Where I like cats because they don't take much work. Except for when they're not going to the bathroom where they're supposed to be. But I got that under control, I think. Better knock on some wood. Oh, gosh. So Anissa says, very pro-choice, and why are they not talking about natural immunity? Do what is right for you. Yeah, I think it comes down to do what's right for you, but I make sure you're informed, right? I think there's a lot of people who are misinformed. Yeah, they did not replace them. Daughter says lots of work. They are so much work. My daughter did not replace them also, but partly not only because of the work, but I think mostly because their lifespan isn't long enough, and she got so attached to them and was in love with them. And here she's posting stuff from 2016 on her Facebook, a memory. She still says that she thinks of them all the time. Like, those were her babies, and it's been very, very hard for her. The Lassen man. Yeah. Oh, wow. Rest in peace, Dusty. I just shocked when I heard the traveling picker mentioned it. Pat Dees mentioned it on his channel this morning. That's how I found out about it. and just incredibly, incredibly sad news. Just for our reselling family itself. I didn't really know him and I didn't watch him religiously, but I watched him here and there enough. And I was sharing earlier that my travel time chit chat was spun off from watching him in his car just talking. And I was like, hey, that's pretty good because I just feel like a lot of times I don't have enough time to do videos. But when you're in the car, I'm bored. So might as well hit record and just
I'll make use of the time.
my mind. I have so many travel time chit chat videos that never end up going live because something happens. I get a phone call in the middle of it and I never go back and finish it. And I've seen where he had done videos where it was multiple days all in that 3-hour period he'd put up. And I've thought about that. I'm like, well, I could just throw them up during that. But a lot of times, whatever I talk about, I'll end up talking about on this show too. So I ended up not doing it. Claudia says, I got the 2 doses of vaccine and around here, everyone is pretty much vaccinated. I have a vaccine pass. Yeah, hopefully we don't have to pass. I don't want to have to show stuff like that. I don't know. I'm fearful of giving away too much of my freedom for the safety of others. If you choose not to get vaccinated and you get COVID and you die, I mean, I'll definitely mourn for you where I'm obviously sad of Dusty and Tristan, but that was a choice they made to not get vaccinated. Remember, there are still bacteria community based just as bad as COVID going around. My neighbor had pneumonia, which had all the signs of the COVID. I remember, Michelle, that you were telling me about that. Did she recover from that? I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I wonder how your neighbor turned out because she was pretty sick. She was in the hospital with pneumonia, but it wasn't COVID. But I sometimes wonder though, because there's a lot of COVID tests that come back negative. Mine came back negative, and I'm 99.9% sure I had COVID. My brother and his wife both caught COVID a couple months ago. My brother ended up on a ventilator for 3 weeks, but he pulled through. Thank God. His wife didn't get it as bad and recovered at home. Wow, Tina, I am so happy to hear about your brother. We were talking about it earlier. When you go on a ventilator, it's so hard to get off from one. So hard. They try so hard now not to put you on one. Where at the beginning of COVID, they were putting them on them thinking that it was going to help them. But yeah, people just didn't come off them. It's such a different disease. My sister sent me, let me see if I have it. Finished my shipping. Good. I finished mine too. Let me see if I can find. I think it's in this one. Let me click. I think you click info and then I can look at just the photos, see all. Yeah. So my sister works at a hospital. She works
a
at
lot of sisters. Which sister is this?
I only got 2 sisters. My sister Sherry, she works at the VA.
Okay.
So this is I'm pretty sure that's the healthy lungs.
Make yourself big.
Oh, hold on. Okay, there. Those are healthy lungs right there. And these are lungs with COVID.
Ew.
Look at that. Yeah, she works in radiology.
Oh, okay. So she sees this all the time.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So I just got a text from one of my watchers who hasn't been watching lately. We talked on the phone last night. She finally just got shipping on Facebook. She hasn't had it. Would you do $15 shipped? Uh-oh, what does she say? Oh. What do I do? Well, let me just reply to her and say, edit. So she had something that was $12 plus shipping and they want to do 15 shipped. So edit your listing and change the price and click the free shipping. So there on Facebook, there's a thing that you got to click off similar to eBay where you have to say free shipping option.
Oh, do you have an iPhone?
Hold on. Let me tell her I'm live. She asked me if I can call her. I'm live. Hey, come on. I should tell her, come on my live show and I'll talk you through it. Do I have an iPhone? I do.
Did you do the update?
I did yesterday.
Good.
Yes. My brother texted in the morning and said, update your phones.
Yeah.
We have a family group chat and we were like, why? And he goes, just do it. No. And then I turned on the news and I saw that there is so if you have an iPhone, for those who are listening and don't know what's going on, there was a breach to their security system that they got notified of, that because from what I've heard of, iPhones are extremely difficult to hack into. And somebody was able to find a way into it. They were saying on the news yesterday that whoever developed the program to hack into it spent over $1 million to develop that program. It's like a very expensive venture to do.
You know what? I'm listening to a podcast and it's called Darknet Diaries. And that's the name of the podcast, Darknet Diaries. And it's a different episode. Each episode talks about something in the tech world, and it's not super techy. But you're right. Talking about developing these hacks, there are consortiums, people, nation states that are out there looking for ways to get into devices. And you talked about spending $1 million on something. And I was listening to a woman from the New York Times who wrote a book about all that cyber espionage stuff. And it's a big deal. And there's a lot of money on the line for people. And yes, you're right.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. So if you have an iPhone and you haven't updated your phone, do so, which reminds me, I was supposed to do my mom's yesterday and I forgot to do it when she was here. She couldn't.
iPads too.
She had an error on her iPads also. She had an error when she was updating. Mine updated, no problem.
How old is her phone?
It's an XR, so like an iPhone 10.
Okay. Because at some point, the phones don't accept any more updates. They break out. And that's what happened to my iPhone 6 last fall, is it wouldn't take any more updates because it was a 6-7-year-old phone. So I upgraded and got a new phone. Because after a while, they just don't take any more updates.
Yes, my daughter and son both have an 8. My husband still has an iPhone 7. I don't know if he ended up updating his yesterday or not. But they're saying whatever this hack is you'll get a text message. Mm-hmm. You don't even have to click the link in the text message for them to get access to your phone. And you don't even know they have access to your phone. Nothing pops up showing it. So yeah, I did the patch. I did the update. Did you see the new coupon feature coming on eBay? I know I never even talked about the fall seller update. It's been around for a while, that coupon feature.
About 4 or 5 months, maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking
at least
it was at least July.
Yeah,
I think it was around. But I'm wondering if maybe it was in beta mode and only certain sellers had it. Because why didn't they announce it during the fall update? But yeah, I have heard of it. And they were saying, I was listening to eBay for Business podcast the other day, and over a million, it must have been million, I can't have been billion, but over 1 million people have already used the coupons to buy something. So yeah, you can create a coupon, you can send it to like previous customers and all this other stuff. I haven't played around with it yet.
Me either.
So I don't know, but I was thinking, it's funny because I was thinking of it today, because they have coupons too that you can use on Etsy. And when I've been selling stuff, I got 4 Etsy stores, and when I sell in one Etsy store, I only have one business card. I've been putting this business card in it, and I'm thinking I need to print a coupon code and put a note or something, put a sticker on the back of this that will, so if they order from my Yellow Fox Vintage store, then they go here and there'll be a coupon code for them. Maybe the code will be Yellow Fox Vintage. That way I know that they're a buyer that came from Yellow Fox.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to come up with some type of coupon would be nice. How do you update an iPhone? All right, so you go to your, hold on. Go to your settings, right there where it says settings. I'll make myself big. Gosh.
This is Tech Talk with Tamra.
I know. So right here where it's settings, you click on settings.
You need to be plugged in. She needs to be plugged in.
Well,
Wi-Fi.
you have to be connected to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
And your battery has to be fully charged. So I wasn't connected yesterday. And then down here under general right here, I'm going to click that. And then right up here it says software update. So if I click on that, mine should say I'm up to date. Even though I have automatic updates on, it didn't do it. See, 14.8. So I am up. But yeah, I updated that yesterday. It didn't take too long.
It takes longer on an iPad than it did on an iPhone because I upgraded. I have an iPad and my mom has one. It took a lot longer with an iPad for some reason. The iPhone took 10, maybe 15 minutes, but the iPad took twice as long. You know, I've been getting some.
What? Hold on. Michelle, to go to the fair, they have to show proof of vaccination? New York just had their state fair. They said the numbers were equivalent to pre-COVID numbers. But I don't think you had to wear a mask or, I mean, it's mostly indoor stuff or outdoors. Wow. There was a lady, oh my gosh, I went to TJ Maxx the other day. And I was in the checkout line, and you can wear a mask or don't wear a mask. They say it's recommended. Around here, everything's recommended. And so I don't wear a mask. And the lady was like on top of me. And I'm thinking, we're still supposed to be keeping 6 feet, lady. I wanted to turn around and say something, but I don't like confrontation, so I didn't. But keep your 6 feet. 6 feet distance. I think if I would have had a mask on, I probably would have said something to her because I feel like, because she had a mask, I feel like she probably would have said, well, you don't have a mask on. So, right, you're not wearing a mask. I'm not going to keep my 6 feet. But I'm like, no, back up, back the hell up. So that, like, I could literally like almost feel her breathing on my neck. The old way sends a link. The new feature does not. Thank you. Yes. Masks are mandated here. And I heard yesterday it is being extended. Wow. Mandated throughout your whole state. So, I mean, I'm in New York and we were one of the first ones to mandate masks, but our new governor is not mandating anything. So
how's that working out with your new governor?
I think so far so good. I think. Haven't really noticed any difference with her there, so should be good. I don't know. She's a Democrat, but I think she kind of leans more towards the middle than far left, which is because people were like, it's almost like, you know, people are saying, oh, Biden leave. Well, you got to be careful what you wish for, because sometimes you get rid of one person and you can end up with somebody worse. So I wasn't sure what it was going to be like when Cuomo left. At least we knew what to expect from him because he'd been in office long enough. But yeah, she's a beautiful woman. I don't know her politically. I never followed. I didn't vote for I don't vote for Democrats, so I never really even pay attention to what her platform was as a lieutenant governor. But from what I understand, from what I've heard from other people who have been around longer than we have in New York, that she will probably be okay. So
I have been getting a couple of, I guess they're spam texts saying I won something. I go and block the number and then I delete it, and every one of them has a link. But
they say that you don't even need to have clicked the link, and it's enough for you just getting the link is enough for them to get into your phone.
Yeah,
That's scary.
that is scary because it's always been don't click on the attachment, don't click on the link. And no wonder that thing cost $1 million if you just get the text.
Yeah.
But I've gotten 5 or 6 of them in the last several weeks and blocked all of them because yeah, it's just one less spam thing to worry about.
Yeah. I had to block somebody on Facebook yesterday for the first time. I had somebody replied and asked if it was available. And I said yes. And then they asked me about something else, completely different category of item. Is this available? And I said, I actually didn't reply right away. And then they sent me, I think, a thumbs up or happy face or some type of emoji. And I replied back and said, yes, this is still available. And then they, on the other one, they sent me a thing saying, well, here's my phone number. Can you give me your phone number so I can call you to verify this isn't a scam? And I replied and said, well, you're the scammer. And and then I went and reported them to Facebook and blocked them. So that was my first time I've ever had to block somebody on Facebook. And yeah, I'm like, so don't fall for that. Don't give somebody your phone number.
Oh, heck no.
No.
Listen, we grew up in the day where the landlines and you got the obscene
I'm still
phone
big.
calls.
Why did you remind me? I was big on I'm so used to just seeing me on the screen and I'm looking down at you. Forgot that.
You're the star. You're the star.
Sorry.
You're Johnny Carson and I'm Ed McMahon.
Well, I want the money that Johnny Carson made.
You and I grew up with landlines and no caller ID. I can't tell you the awful, obscene phone calls I would get. And when
I can't. The
caller
ones that
ID,
we make. Did you ever make prank calls?
no.
Oh, we used to make when we would have like sleepovers and stuff. When I was probably like 12, 13, we would do prank calls and ask if ask if John was there, or what was the other one? It was like just stupid ones, you know.
Okay, here's something that'll put the fear into you. This was late 70s. I worked for a company, and it was a small company of about 20, 30 people tops. And everybody had their little offices, cubes, whatever. And then there was a sheet with everybody's name and phone number on it and their address. And one of the guys put that for contacting folks. So one of the guys put that on his bulletin board. Guess what? The office got broken into one night. Guess what was taken? That sheet.
Oh, really?
We started getting obscene phone calls, all of the single women. And they had my address. So fortunately, I lived close to where I worked. And for about 4 or 5 days after I would get these obscene phone calls, one of the guys from work would come home with me and make sure that it was okay before I went into the house. That scared the living out of me.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, people will ask me on Facebook, they'll be like, where do you live? Because I do porch pickup, and they'll say, where do you live? And there's so many people that will ask me where I live when I offer shipping. And I'm like, it doesn't matter where I live. I'm shipping it to you.
Yeah.
But I do offer local too. So I'll usually will go and look at their profile first to see where they live. Because sometimes I'll be like, if they live in Illinois, then I reply, I live in New York. I just say New York. And sometimes I'll say, I live in West Stockholm. But I don't give them my address until I verify their, like, oh no, I live close. I want to come and pick it up. And then I'll give them my address. So today I got somebody coming to pick it up. I think if I was a single woman, I would probably have them go. I'd meet them somewhere. But I have a husband who's got a lot of weapons and a lot of stuff here that he can take care of people. Plus, we have videos. It's funny. We have the Amish is coming to build our deck tomorrow. I think he's going to be coming, and we stopped at his house on Monday night or Tuesday night. What's today? Wednesday. We stopped on Monday night to find out. Said, hey, the stuff is in. giving you a heads up. It's time because, when you're dealing with the Amish, they don't have the phone. You can't pick up a phone and call them. You can't text them. You can't send a message on Messenger. So we stopped by, and we had to stop by at 8:30 because he doesn't get home until 8:30 at night from his other job he has. And he was like, "Oh yeah, I stopped by your house the other day." He goes, "But nobody answered." He goes, "You got one of those fancy doorbells." We have a Ring doorbell.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, we wondered who that was," because we got notified that somebody had rung our doorbell, but our battery was too low for us to go live. So we couldn't see who it was. So we charged it as soon as we got home. But we're like, I figured, because sometimes UPS or FedEx, especially when it's a substitute driver during the holidays, we get it a lot.
Yeah.
When they drop a box off at the front porch, they'll ring the doorbell and then just walk away, just to kind of let us know that the box is there. So I was expecting some type of box or something, and there was nothing. So when we got home, I'm like, who was at our front door? Like, why did that pick up notification, and who rang our door when there's nothing here? And now I know it was the Amish guy. And I'm like, gosh, what a waste of how much he had to travel from where he lives to where we live to just stop in.
We've got a large Amish community where I live here too, but they're a little different than yours. They have phones.
Oh,
and
I'm surprised.
And
are they Amish or are they Mennonite?
No. They're Amish. Trust me.
Wow.
They're all they all have a little different rules. Each group is a little different. Our Amish have phones at their home, but they're in a booth outside of the home.
Oh, so they don't have a phone at the house.
And not in the house. They have a little shed/phone booth outside of the house.
Huh.
Now, they also have, and don't ask me how it works. They will take their home phone with them, and they have some sort of booster that makes it a cell phone. Because I've seen numerous people do that. And some of the guys who they're on a lot of construction crews around here. They have their own construction crew. Some of them have cell phones. And I think the key is, again, with this group, I'm only talking about this group. If it's battery operated, it's fine. It's when it becomes electricity that's
so weird.
That's a no-no. But they've got to work around that. A girl we know who helps us out here at the house, she and her husband just built their shop house. And they have the most intricate solar panel you've ever seen. And they plug stuff into the wall because it's all solar panel generated or whatever. So they have the use of electricity via solar panels. Yes, propane was okay, John. But they have a lot of, between the solar power has really kicked into high gear around here. Propane was the bomb for the longest time. You would have a refrigerator that would plug in to some propane thing, which I couldn't wrap my head around that. But the solar power has come down so much in cost, and they are essentially living the way the English do, that's what they call us, via solar power. Because she showed me this panel and I thought, well, geez, that looks like something in a regular house. So if it's battery operated, that makes it okay.
So I wonder, because I have noticed even around here that each Amish has its own community, and the elder within that community kind of dictates what
the bishop
have. Is that what it's called? Okay. And because where I live, so in my area, they have reflectors or battery powered lights that go on their buggies at night. You can see them. But if you go half an hour to the west, whatever that community is, it's been in the news constantly last year or the year before, because there was so many deaths, people hitting the buggies and killing the Amish and stuff. And they won't even let them put reflectors on their buggies. So there's not even nothing. So the town has been pretty much trying to get a mandate to say,
Yeah.
listen, if you have it, it's a law. You've got to put these reflectors on because people can't see them at night.
Yeah, and those things are black.
Yeah,
And
and they were saying how they've been able to get one of the communities to do it, but this one bishop is like absolutely not. He won't. And I'm like, well, then you need to tell your people they can't drive at night, or they need to start giving tickets, or they need to do something because I can't. So if I hit a buggy, chances of me dying are pretty slim, but chance of them dying is high, is very high.
there's been some tragic accidents because
Yeah.
those things
But I
are
would have to live with that my whole life, knowing that I hit one of them and that I killed somebody, even at maybe no fault of mine. Because I've been driving home when my mom and I go out and do some sourcing trips in Watertown, and we're driving home. There's buggies all the time on the sides of the road because we drive through one town that's very, very large amount of Amish. And so many times, even with their reflective lights, you're like almost on top of them before you see them. And I've just been like, holy crap. Like,
you got to be right on top of them to see
they
it.
have like scared me that all of a sudden there's something right there. And I'm like, oh my God. Or our area, they have little lanterns in the front. Well, you can't see the lantern when you're driving behind them. So it's been crazy. Well, so the guy who was going to help us build the deck, he said the company he works for, which I think might be an Amish company, because he said that they just lost their 3-year-old son. And then that night watching the news, they said there was an Amish kid, a 3-year-old Amish kid that died falling out of a buggy. So I was like, oh my gosh, so it must be, I'm assuming it's the same 3-year-old since it's the same town and stuff.
Yeah. The Amish around here don't ride their buggies as much as it sounds like yours do, because they're really out in the county. And time-wise, it would take them forever to get to where they go. So a lot of the English make money driving the Amish around.
Yeah, so my husband will go and pick up. If somebody's going to do work for him, he goes and picks them up. This guy, I guess he's going to take his own buggy over. But yeah, no, there's buggies all the time around here. And I remember when we went to Ohio last year, I was surprised that in that town, they all ride bicycles. They're on bikes all over the place. Here, it's just too far to ride a bike.
Look, we had our roof and our gutters replaced this past summer. And each one of the guys had their own driver.
Wow.
In fact, the driver was part of the crew. So the guy had the truck and he pulls the trailer, and then I think the English guy worked with both crews. That was very unusual because usually Amish crews they're Amish crews and that's it. But the ones who have drivers, evidently some of them now work with the Amish crew and are the driver as well. And one guy said, yeah, I've been with John for 8 years and I've been with so-and-so. So they have a different arrangement. But to answer John's question, I don't know why they don't like electricity.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't.
I don't understand.
I can't figure it out because they can have propane and kerosene. They can have lights. They can have all these other things they can do, but they just can't have the electricity or plumbing.
I think it has to do with it being natural.
I'm okay with no electricity, but come on, put in a toilet for God's sake.
Oh, okay. They have toilets here, trust me.
Oh, they don't have toilets here. They have outhouses.
No,
they don't have toilets here.
Your group is much more fundamental than our group is. I have been in many Amish homes. They have running water. It looks like a regular house.
No, they don't have that here. Let me show you. Let me see if it's on here. I'm sorry to hear
that, Michelle. I'm glad to hear her son was hit by a car on his bike. That's scary. I'm glad he's feeling better.
Oh, that is really good. My daughter lost a college friend who was raising money for some awareness and was driving cross country, and she got hit and killed.
That's tough.
The lady who killed her, you know how sometimes you're driving and it's at sunset when the sun
Mhm.
is setting and that sun is like right in your eyes and you can't even see.
Right.
Even if you put your thing down, it doesn't block it. That lady went around a corner and she hit the girl on the bicycle because she goes, the sun was in my eyes. I didn't even see her. And I'm like, I can see where that can happen because there's been times I've been like that. All right, I want to show you. Oh, I wonder if this is an Amish house. Oh, it is.
Yeah, your group is much more fundamental than our group is because, like I said, I've been in many Amish homes. I've been to an Amish wedding. Their homes are even wired for electricity because codes makes them do that, but they just don't turn the electricity on. But now that
Oh yeah. Here
now,
they don't even have the code where they have to do it.
they've got to do it here.
So this is what I find interesting because I've never been inside an Amish home, but every now and then they come for sale on the market. So here's one that's in the town next to me. This is very similar of what an Amish house in our area looks like.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually older farmhouses that they buy and take over and renovate. But well, there's the outhouse right here. And so it looks like they've done some work to this one. The dog is cute. I mean, if I click on that, does that go bigger? Oh yeah, that's a little bit better. Oh, we can scroll.
Most of the houses the Amish have are they build them themselves.
Yeah, a lot of them around here that they build are very small houses.
Oh no, the ones I've seen are good size houses, but they build them themselves. They very rarely take over an English home. They'll go and buy a bunch of land.
Right.
And then.
So see, they got a water pump here. They pump their water.
Your group is much more fundamental than ours.
There's their stove. It's got to be so hot in the summertime because they probably don't even run fans. What are those? Well, I don't know.
They run fans down here.
No, they don't. They don't around here.
Yeah.
No. There was a house that just came on the market that is an Amish house, and I was like, oh, too bad it has no plumbing or electricity, but it would be so much work to put it in. So I mean, look at here's a sink. There's not even a faucet. Like there's not even.
Well, look at what Doyle says. Some electricity is considered a temptation of the outside world.
Yeah. All right. So that makes sense. I think that's kind of what my husband says when I've asked him. So they also show, we'll see if this one shows. I haven't seen this one. This one
look at the fire. Look at the wood burning stove there.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
that's how they heat.
A lot of them have
their lamps.
A lot of them have wood burning furnaces, and they're up underneath the house, and they put wood in the furnace, and then it heats the home the way a regular furnace would. But
look at, they got a double bed and then a twin bed.
Then
another mattress. They sleep like a ton of people in their houses.
See, I'm surprised this is even on the market for everybody else to buy, because usually when an Amish home is up for sale, another Amish will just buy it straight up.
All their canning stuff. So see, like this tub, I don't know if this is it or not, but some of the other houses that I've seen, this is how they take a bath. They have these tubs that are in their garages or in their basement that they fill up with water. And from what I understand, everybody takes a bath in the same tub. The oldest goes first, so you get the cleanest water, and then the youngest goes last. So you're taking a bath water.
I've used the bathroom in an Amish home. It's just like ours.
Oh, we see. Yep, they don't have that. Now we do have Mennonites around here, and they have toilets. I wanted to see if they have. Now this house is $100,000, by the way, for that house with the barn and everything. I wanted to see if they have the other big house, because that actually shows their bathroom and all that.
If you went into an Amish home around here and you were just taken to the home, didn't know anything about it, you would think it's a regular house.
Sort by newest, because I know this is a very old, it's been on the market forever. So from my understanding is around here that people will, the Amish chip in and help the other Amish. Okay, this is it right here. And help the other Amish to build their house and that kind of stuff. And then they have to pay that back. They have to pay the money back. So what they do is they'll put their house on the market, but a lot of times their houses never sell, but they have to look like they're attempting to do whatever it is for the house. So this Amish house is extremely popular in the area because they have a huge farm and they sell produce, and a ton of people go to this. Look how big it is. This right here, they farm all this right here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
grow vegetables galore, and they're right on a main road.
Mm-hmm.
But this house this one shows their bathroom.
Look and see what John says. 100,000 for all of that, renting a U-Haul. Yeah, the land is worth.
That's why I live here. It is cheap to live here versus Vermont. I still say where I live, the house I live in, we paid $222,000 for it. This house in my land would have cost at least $750,000 in Vermont. Yeah. At least $750,000. So this is the biggest house we've ever been in. What we are in now, and with 100 acres, it's just this is why I live here.
Forget how many acres you have.
Yeah, 108, I think. I don't know. I forget myself. All right, so this one talks about. Let me show you bedrooms. It's kind of interesting. I enjoyed looking at these. Look at all these cucumbers. The canning stuff is just crazy.
There's a family who has a farm. It's called Windy Ridge, and it's at the top of a ridge. And believe me, it's really windy up there. But they have got greenhouses. They've got at least 2 greenhouses. They've got land, and they are always growing something. Right now, they're selling chrysanthemums, and then they have a big area they're selling pumpkins. And then during the spring and summer, they sell a lot of produce. And then they have a produce auction house. And all the Amish get together and decide, okay, you're going to grow this, you're going to grow that. And they take it all to the auction. Well, the auction, lots of English are there, and people from various stores come and buy the produce at the auction. And a lot of people make their living that way. And then during the off season, they're selling other things. But it's really kind of cool when you see all these chrysanthemums all lined up. They all have little bitty black hoses that are used to water them. And it's very highly organized. These people have got the most organized system going on. And
they share too. So even though they all take different things and sell it, they also will be like, okay, I'm going to grow all the corn that we're going to eat, and they share it amongst their community. I'm going to do all the beef cattle, and I'm going to do, and like we have our furniture was made, and our bedroom was made from an Amish. So he makes all the new cabinets and stuff that goes in. He says every year he takes 2 weeks off just to go help with barn raisings and building houses and stuff in his community.
I don't think too many of our Amish raise cattle. I don't. If they do, maybe it's for themselves. But when I go to their homes, I don't.
No, they didn't show the bathroom. Cattle. I know I saw the bathroom here before, but it's in their garage. It's just a bathtub in the garage. That's why I was kind of going slow.
Yeah, you guys, like I said, much more conservative than our group.
Yeah, yeah,
and but there's a lot of businesses that they run. But I will say this, they don't work for English. They just work for themselves. So you won't see an Amish guy. Now they'll subcontract, say a construction crew will get hired by a developer to go frame houses or do whatever, but
I wonder if
they,
that's their bathtub right
they
here.
work for themselves. Yeah, that's interesting how different they are.
That might be their tub. I thought it was in the garage. Maybe that was a different listing. That's the basement.
Huh.
Yeah, it is different. I think it even says in here I think maybe it was in the listing right where it said it. Property details. Oh, this has a guest house. I have to say something about. Well, maybe it was a different one then. Maybe it wasn't this one. I don't know. I like looking at them whenever they come up. So Sandy says that she grew up in rural Kentucky without running water and was lucky that she got clean water to bathe in. I remember visiting my grandparents who lived in this area, and when I took a bath, my grandmother would boil water on the stove and put it in my bathtub. They had running water. I don't understand why they had to boil it. I don't know. Maybe it was cheaper to use the propane than it was electricity. I don't understand.
Look at Texas Bandit.
Just checked, and Pat's latest video has been pulled. Don't know, and sad about my buddy Dusty. Really? I hope it wasn't pulled because it was misinformation.
Or maybe Pat decided to take it down. You don't know.
Because I based what I was saying about Dusty passing on that video. Could it be that he hasn't passed? Well, I was before I thought about sharing it, I said, "Well, look, where's your source? Who's your source and where'd you get it from?" And it was from Pat, and I trusted the source. So I hope that
didn't Craig Landsharp Picker at the very beginning he was
he was on the live that Pat did. Pat's live was only like 2, 3, 4 minutes long, if that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and he made it private. I saw that this morning, woke up to the notification, clicked on it, and he made it private. Huh. Maybe the family didn't want it out yet because they haven't told everybody. Maybe they want to tell their family first before, cousins and aunts and uncles or something. I heard it from a trusted source. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, Anissa, I feel like I trust the source. So, but why he took it down, maybe the family.
Well, he said he made it.
But once it's out there, they should know that it's going to be.
What's that?
People are going to talk about it in this small community of resellers. Well, listen, I'm going to wrap up though, because it's 11 o'clock and I need to get going. I want to go to lunch at the casino today. I'm going to use my birthday coupon and go get some free lunch and hopefully win some money. Last time I won $1,698.
You got some good numbers going there.
I know, and I haven't been since I won, so it's that money is burning a hole in my pocket. I need to make sure I take some out and not bring that with me because I wouldn't. I'm smart enough not to ever go in with $1,600 and spend that. I'm like $200 max.
I was going to say, just put this much, take your cards out of your purse, and just
I only bring in what I'm willing to lose.
Yes.
That's all I do. Yeah. No debit cards, no chance. But even if I had a debit card, I'm a smart gambler. I know my limit and I'm not going to hit up an ATM and take out $1,000. Right. I'm not like that. I don't play like that. I go for entertainment value. All right. Well, thanks, Holly, for jumping on with me this morning. I appreciate it. I know it was a rough beginning. And
you were struggling there, and I didn't want to see you have a meltdown on
I
live
know,
TV.
and I didn't want to. That's why I was like, okay, I got to start packaging. I'm a very emotional person. I am such a crybaby. Like I cry
Don't apologize for that.
easy things. And like I said, even though I didn't personally know Dusty, and he doesn't even know my channel, or anything like that. I just from watching him, and it's just sad. It's just sad all around. Sad when he lost his wife, and then even sadder now that he's gone. And then I think of the kids, and yeah, it's tough. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I will be back on Monday. So have a great weekend. All right, see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.